In studio, our good buddy from Oxygen Financial, Ted Jenkins. Did you get in okay? The road's okay for you coming from wherever you live?
Yeah, this is a breeze. I didn't know there was no black ice on the road at all.
Yeah, they brined it out. What we heard this morning from people were that, the roads were fine. There's no black ice because we didn't get that freezing overnight. Overprepared, nothing wrong with that. School's closed. A lot of people taking off work today. Maybe watch the kiddos or just stay home and take a mulligan. But what people are finding is a lot of debris in the road because it did get cold enough. And with that rain and wind last night, it was like that freezing rain. It was pretty strong. It was knocking a lot of those dead limbs down in the road. So we're finding out a lot of people are dodging that in traffic. Still over 200,000 people here in the state without power, more or less in the northeast. So it was kind of an issue. Not necessarily for us, but.
No, man, I didn't have any problems.
Not for me. I drove from Milton. It was no problem.
Did you rock salt your driveway? That's what you ever need your driveway rock salted? Just call me. I learned how to do it the other day.
Dude, he doesn't do it right. He sprinkles it. It's like he looks like he used table salt too. I am not convinced that he did.
Well, I took the thing from the table, the grinder, and I just went out there and
it's kosher salt, Morton's.
Yeah, and he just kind of spreads it around. I'm like, man, you're still going to slide. It's not going to help you. But you did the right thing. You parked up top last night, which was good. You didn't get down in your driveway. You were prepared.
Yeah, and then I shuffled my feet this morning going up the hill thinking that it was going to be slippery, and it was fine. I'm driving like a grandpa to work, Ted. I got 10 and 2, and I'm pushed up against the windshield, and it's like 40 miles per hour on 400, and it was fine. Everything was good.
Dude, I busted my ass on black ice, and to this day, I mean, I had a bruise that went down through my bottom all the way through the back of my thighs, and my back hurts to this day from it. I mean, black ice, no joke.
So what do we have today, Ted? We got 5 ways for people to save for college, right?
Well, it's that time of year right now where people are starting to fill out something called FAFSA forms, which is trying to get, free aid through this federal student aid and take the free application and do it. And so the cost of college education is skyrocketing. A newborn today, someone has a baby today.
Yeah.
If they want to send them to a private college, it's estimated to be more than $300,000 in the future for a private 4-year education. So
that wouldn't be an in-state school, right?
No, an in-state school is going to be in the 150 range if you have a newborn today. So in 18 years from now, school today is about $15,000 to $20,000 for an in-state school. You're talking more than $100,000, but I think it's going to be more in that range of 150.
And this is something that's happening right now with adults and parents. These forms are coming out. I know nothing about this.
Yeah, well, I think actually among people now that are in their 40s and people in their early 50s and that their kids are going to school, it's one of the biggest issues is how do I plan long-term for my retirement, but also take care of my kids' education where the costs are skyrocketing.
Yeah,
so,
get ready, buddy. You got kids about ready to go to college.
They're taken care of.
Are they?
Yeah. I'm sending them to a Votech, a wood whittling school.
I'm with him. Trade school. I'm going to push my kid toward trade school.
But you say that now.
Yeah.
Caleb's going to be one hell of a mechanic, I swear.
My kid's going to Clayton State. I already decided.
At least they'll have a trade.
Yeah.
So 5 ways to save. Make sure, because that's a lot of cash to save up for. Those 18 years will fly by.
Yeah, well, the sobering statistic is that almost half of the college accounts today are still sitting in a savings account, a regular basic savings account. And there are different ways that people can plan for college education. But a savings account today, guess what it earns?
0.5%, a 1/4%?
At the most.
At the most, if you're lucky.
2.5, a tenth of a percent.
It's probably going to be down in 0.1 or 0.2%. So
stupid.
Get it out of
Even
there.
CDs, like in the mid-2000s, you're getting 8 to 9% on return CDs, 12-month CDs. Now it's what, 2%?
No, it's not. It's not 2%. You're lucky if you get 1% on a CD.
Yeah.
I call them crummy deal today. That's what a CD is, because all you're doing is safely losing your money to inflation, right? If your money makes 1% and the cost of goods go up every year, college is going up by 5 to 7%, you could say it's safe, but all you're doing is going safely backwards against inflation.
And if you get a raise, you might get 3%. Might, if you're lucky.
Well, money markets used to be so much better than the savings account, and those aren't worth anything now either. I mean, you got Yeah, true.
To start it out.
Yeah, so one of the recommendations I would, for newborn today parents, I would be looking at opening up a
Give it up for adoption.
Well, that could be a good idea. You can make money that way. You don't have to spend any money.
Sell it to some Russian guy for $15,000.
I would totally sell one of my kids.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. But I would look at something like a 529 plan to open up. You can get one here in the state of Georgia, through the state of Georgia. One of the things that people need to watch out for is sometimes people will try to sell you a 529 plan that's not in the state of Georgia, and that can cost you extra commissions and fees.
What's a 529 plan?
529 plan is a college-dedicated savings plan. You can put money away, save it away for college, and never pay tax again if you use it for things like tuition, room, board, etc. So imagine putting $100 away today, never paying tax again, and using it for your kid's college education.
What if I'm a good uncle, and this would be for anybody out there that has nieces and nephews? Would this be a good gift to give them? A 529 plan.
And in the state of Georgia, it's fantastic because they actually have a gift button in the system that you can click a button and send it out to uncles, aunts, grandparents, things like that.
Do you have to use the money for a Georgia school?
No, that is one of the biggest myths.
By the way,
out
that's
there.
a great question from me. Just wanted to let everybody know.
No, you know what? I was going to compliment you off air, but since you brought it up on air, great question.
Okay, so you can use it if you want to go out of state.
Yeah, well, it's a great question because there are some states, Jason, that offer like a prepaid tuition plan. Like when you lived in Florida, the state of Florida had a prepaid tuition plan, and you do have to use those plans for that state. But in the state of Georgia, it doesn't matter where your child goes. They can go to school in Tennessee or they can go to New York or California. It doesn't matter. They can use it for any of those states. And so that's why sometimes people will buy a different state because they don't understand the rules.
I mean, you could even go to Alabama if you wanted. I don't know why
you want.
I don't know why you would. I mean,
save money. They actually give you a refund, right? All right, give me another one.
Well, one of the worst ones I don't like, and you guys may remember this growing up as kids, is you get U.S. savings bonds.
Yeah.
And you can use savings bonds for college, and most people believe that they'll be totally tax-free for college. But depending upon your income, they may not. And guess what savings bonds earn today?
Nothing.
Almost nothing.
Yeah.
A little bit better than nothing, but it's not a great way to save for college. But
Those are
some people,
grandparents' thing. You know, they'd have those savings bonds. Those are old school. Real old school.
Yeah, and you put them in your sock drawer at home, and they just sat in there. And
remember in Beverly Hills Cop, and that's what they were doing.
German barrel bonds.
The German barrel bonds, and there'd be like, certificates, and like, Mikey, what are those? German barrel bonds. You know, it's just
I found them. I was going to take them back. I'm sorry.
Last time you heard the word bond, they're bear bonds, something like that. So
Die Hard, that's what they were stealing, bonds.
yeah.
Were they really?
Uh-huh.
Huh. I'm gonna.
well, parents can also set up something called a Coverdell account. Now, that's not as used as much. but
David
you can
Coverdale?
Just give
As in David Coverdale, though?
Yes.
Great
Little
lead singer of
Tawny
Whitesnake.
Katine on the side. So
Okay.
Hey, where do I put this? Slide it in.
So a Coverdale account.
not with the free poster. You don't get any free autographs, nothing like that. It's just money that gets put away for college. Or you could use it for private high school. A lot of parents here in the state of Georgia, they send their kids to private school. So the 529 can only be used for college. But these other accounts, you may be able to use them for middle school or high school or things like that because that could be very expensive. $15,000 or $20,000 a year for private school.
If your kid in high school is involved in cheerleading, just your daughter, I know how expensive that is. And in sports for guys, yeah.
Yeah, or trips that they may earn or things like that, computers or other things that is for the minor. But that Coverdell account is another account that parents can use besides the 529.
All right, what else you got there?
I'll give you one last one on here, which I think is interesting, which is called the UGMA or UTMA account. How's that one for you?
UGMA?
Yeah, UGMA.
What is it?
It's a Uniform Gifts to Minors Act, and this is a way to actually gift money to your kids today and let it grow. Essentially, you won't pay taxes on the first set of interest that you earn on the account, and then someday your kids can take it over as their own account if they don't use it for college or high school or things like that.
Something they get at like 18 years old to do what they want.
Yeah, or 21.
Or 21, sorry. 21.
Hell no. No, you use it for what I tell you you're going to use it for.
Then I would not get an UGMA account for your kid.
Hell no.
But I would get him a Coverdale.
Coverdale, just for the name. That'd be awesome.
That's the way I'm rolling. Coverdale, I like it. The other one, the 529, is just for college only.
That's right.
Yeah, I would not give a large amount of money and the freedom to a 21-year-old to that account. No way.
It's one of the dangers of that account is at 21, they say, Dad, I'm not going to college. I'm getting a Porsche. And too bad, tough luck. I'm going to take this money and go buy my own car.
That's not happening. That's not good. All right, where can people find you, Ted?
Look, you can just tell from this, it's a pretty complex subject.
Yeah.
And you got to take care of it now because some people wait till their kids are 8, 10,
No,
14
do it
years
now.
old.
Do it now.
Do it now. Go to oxygenfinancial.net. I'm going to give you my free guide on the mistakes that parents make with college and what college financial plan you should choose for your future. Go to oxygenfinancial.net.